name's Chris. I hope you're all doing well. So this is just a very quick demo for a tool called KnowBase. So basically this tool will accept a document that you provide, PDF, Markdown, CSV, etc. It will break it down into chunks. It will then embed those chunks and then update those chunks into a Supabase table. And then from there, it'll walk you through how you can connect a custom GPT into that Supabase table so that it could basically perform API lookups when you query your custom GPT. So why would you want to do this? You'd want to do this if you have maybe a large document and you want the custom GPT to have a very accurate knowledge base. So the whole idea of the vector embedding and producing a knowledge graph off the back of that is so that your LLM can very accurately contextualize itself by looking up your table and pulling relevant information, and then it can kind of run its brain across it and provide you a very accurate answer. So the reason why I built this tool is because I found myself doing it kind of manually and running scripts to get it done. And I sort of thought to myself, well, maybe I could build something that's automated, something that's step by step that people on the internet can use. So it's free. How's it free? Well, it's free because you have to provide your own API keys. So obviously, if I was to run this and I had mine in the background, it would be, I'd get charged by OpenAI per use of it. So that way it's free. You'll have to pay for your own key. So as you can see, we'll kick off the demo. This is the UI. Very open to critiques, updates, feedback and stuff like that, but that's not something I'm going to go into here. So first and foremost, you log in, you sign up, very easy. You then provide your OpenAI key here. I've already done it, as you can see. The next step is to grab a document that you want to, chunk, vectorize, produce knowledge graph in, and import into Supabase. So I've chosen a doc here. I'll go into it in a moment. So here you can customize the size of the chunks. So I'm just leaving it default at 800. You can customize the overlap as well. If you're wondering what that is, we have some information here that might guide you. Obviously, ask ChatGPT if you want to get to understand this further. But I thought I'd just chuck that there for people that aren't too sure. So first step is to hit, process. It'll start thinking. Maybe you guys can see the console. I think some of it's cut off, but yeah, so you can see it's processing pages, it's chunking, doing all this stuff in the background. Jump out of that. And it's just going to tick away, depending on the size of the document. Obviously, the longer it takes. As we wait for it to tick away, very quickly, the document I put in it's a laws of the game booklet for a sport that is played in my country, Australian rules football. So this kind of makes sense to vectorize and embed, because if I'm asking ChatGPT for very accurate answers relating to the rules of the game, I don't want it to hallucinate. I don't want it to guess. I want it to be super accurate and actually give me, the pure truth that lies in the official rule book that the actual AFL itself released. So that's why this is probably a good candidate to put into a custom GPT. The processing document section's finished. We're now at the set up your knowledge base section of the app. So this is simply a section that will help you create a table in your Supabase instance, along with creating search functions on it. So we have our table here. I'm just going to randomly name it. I don't recommend you do this for yours, but this is a demo. I'm deleting all this stuff anyway. Here's our table name. So the first query or SQL commands here, we'll copy, we'll navigate to Supabase. I'm going to run it. And here we go. It is a success. The next one, I'm going to copy and I'm going to run it again. And it's another success. Sweet. So if you're wondering what these are doing, I have some UI helpers. Click there. If you are further wondering, you can just copy them and ask ChatGPT what exactly each command is doing. Next step was set up and continue. So here, we basically have to put in our Supabase details. So you'll have to set this up yourself. If there's a lot of requests for me to show how to do this, I will. But for now, it's certainly just a Supabase setup action. So as part of that, you'll get your key, the secret, along with your project URL. I've just imported them there. We'll hit import into that table I just created. Bang, import successful, 43 chunks. So from there, first thing I'll do is just show you the table. So this is this brand new table I created. You can see these are all the fields and these are all the rows. It should be about 43, which there is. Good. Yeah, if you want, you can have a look on what that process actually did in the way of creating entities, relationships, embeddings, and so on. But for now, we'll just blow by that. So the next part that it has taken us to is custom GPT setup. Some of this stuff isn't so relevant. Um, it could be if you want to build further. For example, this part, developer integration, this will show you how you can actually leverage this lookup elsewhere outside of, say, the ChatGPT medium that I'm showing you here. Also, there's some information on these other parts that I've built in, like confidence, I don't know, intervals. So if it's really low in confidence, it will not answer so confidently. If it's very high in confidence, it will give you a very direct answer. So I find that useful as well, but we'll move on. So secure authentication configured, we can move past that. Next step is we're going to create our custom GPT. So if you've never done it before, you do need a OpenAI Plus or Pro subscription as at today to create your own custom GPT. So we'll scroll down. So if you've ever done that before, this should be quite familiar. Click this button. It will take you to the builder. You can see I've kind of already prepared this earlier, but I'll just follow the prompts. So the first thing is there are instructions here on how I would like it to interact with lookup. So I'm just pasting it in. I encourage you guys to have a look. You can change this if you want and see if it works for you based on your requirements. So once you've given your GPT instructions, the next step is to create an action. So some people may not have done this before. I'll walk you through, but the actual tool itself will also do that. So we've given it instructions. The next step is to create the action schema. So here it is. It's really easy. Give it a copy, navigate here. So, you know, pretend that I didn't already create this action, but it's a matter of create new action. It's a matter of copying what you previously had. You just copy and then you paste it in your schema. Hopefully it works. It did for me, thankfully. The next step is to authenticate. So we'll navigate over here. There should be a section that helps you do that. So authentication type, API key, auth type, custom, header name. So I'm going to copy that. Click here, API key, great. API key is selected. Custom needs to be selected, not bearer. Custom header name, I'm going to give it this name as per the app's suggestion, and the API key. Let's go over to the app. So it wants your Supabase anon key. So I'm just going to grab mine. Go back, paste it in, save. So that is good. Next step would be to test it. So we have our GPT, we've given it instructions. Hopefully give it a far better name than this and maybe a cool image. We've given it an action. Now let's test it. So I'm going to ask it this one. Okay, so it's just asking for permission. I'm going to click confirm because I know it's fine. It's simply looking up my database via API. It's actually given us a response. So if you're wondering how many sirens are sounded during the halftime break of AFL, it is a weird game. There looks like there's a fair few sirens that are sounded, and it got it perfectly right. And the other thing that is quite cool, it actually tells you the section from the original document where it got this information from. It was quick, it's very accurate, and it was very direct. So digging into a little bit further, here's the payloads that are being sent. You can see that confidence interval that I mentioned earlier. That's there. And we won't dig into it, but you can see a bunch of other information as part of the response from OpenAI's endpoint. So that concludes this demo. I hope it was informative, and I hope this tool provides you value in the future. Thank you.